Hey, it's a beautiful November morning here. Very little wind blowing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some spraying. And you say, why would I do spraying in November? What I'm going to do is spray a little bit of glyphosate this morning. The product I am using is Heliosate. It has glyphosate in it. It's a 41% glyphosate. So this is a Roundup equivalent that I'll be using. I'm only going to be using about a pint and a half per acre. At this time of the year, you don't need a whole lot. I wonder if I will be eligible for the lawsuits if I'm using Heliosate and not Roundup. When I start twitching and spazzing out and I need to call 1-800-LAWYER, I may not be eligible since I'm using the knockoff brand. Okay, let's walk out here in the field. I'll show you what I'm going after. A number of years ago, I did a small test area where I sprayed glyphosate late October, early November on some ground, and I did some strip spraying. Sprayed 1 acre, skipped an acre, sprayed another acre, skipped an acre. 3 years later, I could still see the difference in what I had sprayed. But this is what I'm after here. You can see I'm not good at weed and grass identification, but hey, I do know this is wild onion. But you see all this little stuff here coming up. This could be ryegrass, which we do have problem with. Not really sure what that is, but by spraying this now, the way glyphosate works is it takes the chemical in through the leaves down to the roots and kills at the root. This time of the year, a lot of weeds and grasses are going dormant, so they start kind of taking the energy in down to their roots so they can survive through the winter. So what that does at this time of the year, it will take that chemical down into the roots and kill them off for good. So this is what I'm after to spray, and so then we'll start with a nice clean seed bed in the spring. So the plan will be here next spring to plant soybeans here. We'll just no-till soybeans into here. So we should be starting with a new clean seed bed. Soil will warm up quicker in the spring by not having any of this weeds on top of it, and we should be able to get an earlier start with planting with a cleaner seed bed and need less chemicals to begin with. So let's make this happen and get it done. In an earlier video, I talked about draining the water lines here so it would not freeze. We do not have a frost-free spigot here because this is a 1-inch line. I'm sure you can find a frost-free spigot with a 1-inch line, but that's not what we did. We just ran a 1-inch line from our well tank that sits over there in the shop out here with a valve on it, and then we have a 1-inch water hose here that we were able to find. My father found it, I don't know, at a auction or swap meet or somewhere in his travels through the years. He found this 1-inch water line. I have never found one since because I'd like to get a new one. This is starting to kink in some places and it's just getting old, but I've not been able to find one yet. So 1-inch water line fills our sprayer. This is actually, it fills it pretty quickly. 500 gallons, usually in about 30 minutes. So that's not too bad. We use a lot of water spraying, and I'm just a small operation. I can't imagine what some of these other guys go through and what kind of setup they have for getting water to spray. But this is our setup. It's not too bad. What I can do when we're doing a lot of spraying is I'll just put the hose in the tank here and let it run for about an hour, hour and a half. We've got 1,500 gallons, and we'll just pump out of the tank into the sprayer. Right now I've got liquid nitrogen in this tank. This tank here is empty. Liquid nitrogen in that one. So that's how we get our water here for spraying. As you can see here, I've got a real fancy system here for our bulk chemicals. Yeah, the Helios 8, the knockoff brand here compared to the Roundup, I'm paying, what is it, somewhere between $11 and $13 a gallon. Roundup is probably twice that amount, does the same job. So I take advantage of the bulk buying the 30-gallon drum, and then just put it in a smaller container as I need it. It works for me. Put a little too much in that one. Darn it, I just remembered I was supposed to stop at the hardware store on my way down here this morning. Once I'm done spraying, I need to winterize that sprayer. And I was going to pick up a case of this RV antifreeze. That's what I dump in the sprayer. A couple gallons of that in the sprayer. The pumps run it through the lines so it doesn't freeze up. Looks like I only have one bottle here. Yeah, I guess I will have to make a trip up to the hardware store when I'm done and get a case of that. I know we just got 10 or 20 cases in on yesterday's truck. At least we were supposed to. That's what I put on the order. We will sell quite a bit of that this month and next month. People coming in buying that to winterize their boats and RVs. Okay, yeah, I had a valve I forgot to close on the pump, so I got a little bit of spillage there, but hey, at least now I've gotten the air out of the line, so we shouldn't have any problem getting this pump going. Once I'm done, I think I'm going to pull this pump apart. Over the summer when I was spraying, I saw a little bit of weeping here in this hole, so I've got a seal to go in this pump. So I think I'll go ahead and do that, get that seal replaced when I'm done spraying here. And that seal was not cheap. I think it was over $100 for that seal. I think I've got it in here on the bench. Yeah, I'm still sorting and cleaning here. Yes, here's that seal, silicone carbide pump seal, and a couple of bearings to go in it as well. So I have the seal and the bearings to get it back together, but yeah, if I recall, it was over $100 for that little box of 3 parts. I hear my eagle this morning, but I don't see it in the tree. It likes to sit in that pine tree behind that barn. I don't see it in the tree. It could be in there, but it's not sitting on its usual branch. But I do hear it. So it is somewhere around here. This morning, this is a very nice morning for November. I believe I'm going to have to take my hoodie and hat off. It's getting warm. I think we're going to be in the mid-50s today. I think 60 tomorrow. So this is great. I got the grain drill washed and the lime spreader washed. I do have to get the combine cleaned up, so I think I will do that tomorrow since it's going to be 60 degrees. I'll get the pressure washer out and I'll blow the combine off real good, and then I'll go ahead and give it a bath. Well, it is winter time, and we have not had any snow yet. Well, nothing that we've had to go out and plow, but I should still be ready nonetheless. I have got a replacement grate to go on the salt spreader. The grate that came with this spreader starting to rust out a bit. I could probably still get another year or two out of it, but I'm replacing it with a stainless steel grate. My local welder got a sheet of this for me, cut it down to size so it will fit in here, but I did not have the salt spreader on the truck to take it up to him when he was cutting it. This pattern is just a little bit different than the other one. And so on the front up there, it is not matching up for this to sit down inside of it in order for the clips to go on to hold this in place. So I've just got to do a little bit of cutting up there and get it right so it will drop into place. So I just have to cut two little pieces here. So let me get that done. Well, okay, it is, it's Christmas Eve. I am in the bank parking lot. I have not done this for a couple of years, and that is going to the bank in my Speedo. So, I guess I will do that today. Temperature is about 48 degrees. I have actually done this when it has been much colder. It's a nice day. My GoPro is not working because the battery is dead, so I will not take you in the bank with me. So this is all you're getting. Here is me undressing. Okay, and the Santa hat for good measure. How do I look? Awesome. Yes. Okay. Nobody choked to death at the bank. On candy, I'm talking about. Because the first time I did this many years ago, well, 4 or 5, 6 years ago, I can't remember now. I almost killed somebody. They had just put candy in their mouth when I walked into the bank with my Speedo, and they kind of inhaled when they saw me in amazement, and they were choking on the candy and almost died in front of me. Okay, so I've been to the bank. I've got one other stop to make, going to see a former employee of mine, spread some Christmas cheer to her as well. Okay, I'm going into the liquor store to see Rosemary. Hopefully she's working today. I've got the camera set up there for you. Got my key. All right. Well, Rosemary was not working. She doesn't come in until 1, so I'll have to come back then. Okay, it's after 1 o'clock, so Rosemary should be at work now. So let me go in here and wish her some cheer. Well, the problem with the Speedo is you have no pockets. So every year I come here to Cook's and buy a bottle of liquor for Rosemary. Rosemary is just, she was an employee we had while we had the grocery store. She was one of those that would work 7 days a week if you asked her. Reliable, dependable, very good with the customers. So we tried to treat her well while she was our employee, and I've just kind of tried to give her a gift every year for Christmas, even though she's no longer an employee. She's just one of those great people who will do anything for anybody. She would give you her last dollar if you really wanted it. Okay, I am done spreading the Christmas cheer, so let me go home and finish wrapping, actually start wrapping gifts. I have not wrapped a single gift yet. Okay, see ya.